Another day, another box score watching episode, and we're at episode number 54, and it was a 5-game slate on a Tuesday. Finally, no more 3-game slates, hopefully ever again, cause that shit's awful. And we're here to talk about every game. As always, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts about today's games, tomorrow's games, whatever you want to tell me about the NBA. Let me know in the comments. Send me your favorite meme, link to my socials down below, and let's get into it. The Sixers against the Kings, and the Kings have been on a very tough road trip throughout the Eastern Conference, and well, Philadelphia wasn't that pretty for them either. They were just a little too sloppy. They didn't shoot the ball that well, just shot 24% from the 3-point line, and they were never in it. They got blown off the floor in that second quarter. It just got over pretty much. It was over. The Sixers were all cooking, and well, a rough loss for the Kings, but I think they're at a great spot, right? And De'Aaron Fox has been dealing with the foot injury, and he's been kind of banged up, missed 2 games because of it, and the bench has not been as great on the road, even though today Terence Davis and Malik Monk were pretty good, but in the end, it was just a tough road trip, and well, a tough loss. And for the Sixers, it's a great win. They are now at 3 wins in a row. After losing 3 games in a row, they've been kinda inconsistent, and Joel Embiid 100% should be somewhere up there in that MVP conversation now, since he has played 19 out of like what is it, 29 games, 27 games? I'm not actually sure, but I feel like he should be up there in that convo because he's been great. 31.7 rebounds, 2 assists. His defense has been great. His presence has been awesome. So shout out to Joel Embiid for continuing his great play. James Harden put on a show with 21.7 rebounds, 15 assists, 5 steals, 7 of 13 from the field, and he's been great since coming back, except that first game, which, I mean, that happens to a lot of players, right? Tobias Harris has been awesome, 21, 7 and 9, 9 of 17. The bench has been awesome. Georges Niang has been a sniper. Shake Milton has played himself into a great, deal, and Matisse Thybulle has been sensational. He got the start today, 15 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 3 of 4 from the 3-point line, and if he could get that like one in 4 games, 1 in 3 games, it would be so great for the Sixers team. Their defense is great. They're playing great basketball. Hopefully they don't go on a 3-game losing streak now again and just, be inconsistent as hell. Then we head to Milwaukee as the Bucks destroyed my Warriors, and after defeating the Celtics at home and, feeling kind of good about yourself, they got destroyed in Milwaukee on the start of this very rough road trip throughout the Eastern Conference, where they play 6 games in 9 days, and then they have the Christmas Day game at home, and it's rough. Tonight they play the Pacers. Hopefully everyone will play since they got blown off the floor today. And, well, what are the positives? Well, Jonathan Kuminga and Dante DiVincenzo look great, look better, and, look like they will be great pieces for this rotation. While JaMychal Green looks fucking awful, and that's something really problematic. You could really use somebody like Kelly Olynyk, per se, out there as like the shooter stretch big that could pass the ball even great, unlock Jonathan Kuminga on offense, even help Draymond Green on offense, and it would be really great. Hopefully JaMychal Green starts playing better, or just, I don't know, they could actually trade for Kelly Olynyk maybe, if you gave up a first round pick, or maybe some young player, who knows, I don't know actually. I'm not sure what they would want for Kelly Olynyk, or if they will be even, trading him, because the Utah Jazz have been great and are right now better than the Warriors record-wise, so it's a tough task, and the refereeing has been horrendous for us this year, except that game against the Celtics. I would say that was one of the games where we got a better whistle, and tonight, Steph, we got hit with like 5 technicals as they lost it a little bit. He got, not punched, he got hit in the face while he was contested on a 3-pointer, and they didn't call a foul. He lost it there, and he was off for the whole game then, and they played some decent half-court defense, but they just got destroyed in transition, and just were off offensively. Everyone, Steph, Jordan, and Clay all just didn't shoot the ball well, and if your 3 best scorers per se are not gonna shoot the ball well, it's not gonna be a pretty sight for you, right? And the Bucks are relentless. Even though Giannis didn't play, efficiently, they shot 55% from the field and 42% from the 3-point line. Bobby Portis was sensational. Nobody could defend him off the bench. I would have liked to seen Kevon Looney on him actually a little bit, but we didn't get to see that, I feel like. And Chris Middleton was great. They didn't even have Jrue Holiday. We didn't have Andrew Wiggins, so I don't even mention it because it kind of evens out, right? And Grayson Allen shot, 6 of 6. Didn't miss a shot, 16 points. Some great play for Milwaukee, and they get a huge win. They bounce back after that Rockets loss, where they really got, beat pretty well by Houston, and which is why exactly I was scared of this game. Then we head to Houston as the Rockets win back-to-back impressive games, this time against the Suns. And let me get the Suns out the way, because they are missing their best player. DeAndre Ayton had to leave the game at the end of the first half, as he, got something with his ankle, even though he didn't play that well today. He's the integral piece, their third best player or second best player. And Mikal Bridges shot 4 of 24. He can't shoot, I suppose, today. But it was just a really rough night for him, as the Rockets played some really good defense, and that's what I want to concentrate on. So the Suns, not much to talk about here. The stat lines, you can see there's not that impressive stuff. Shout out Josh Okogie, he had 10, 6, 3, 1 steal, 2 blocks off the bench, and he's been pretty solid for him right now off the bench. So I guess that's something you can look at it positively as a Phoenix Suns fan, but you are now on a 5-game losing streak. Hopefully Devin Booker will be back. He has, played in 2 games, missed 3 games throughout the last 5, and he was really bad in those 2 games he played because he was dealing with some type of injury in those games already. And we'll see how they bounce back from this. And for the Rockets, I just want to shout them out a lot. I want to talk about them a little bit more. And they have been playing some really good defense these last 2 games. They, it feels like it's weird to say and it's kind of awkward to say, but it is what it is, right? It feels like it's kind of, their coach, Steven Silas, his dad died. He was an NBA legend. He was one of the most respected players, and rest in peace to him, and my condolences to his family, even though they're never gonna see this. It's just sad to see a legend pass, as always. And it feels like it really motivated them to, play for their coach. And he was not there against Milwaukee. And they played some of the best defense we've seen on Giannis. And they just played great defense overall. They were hustling to everything. They were contesting every shot as much as they could. They were switching better. They were playing just all-around solid defense. And it carried on today, where Steven Silas returned to coach. And they played still great defense. And it was great to see. It's just great to see these young guys show potential on the defensive side of the ball, as everyone really contributed. Jabari Smith has been excellent since the Warriors game. He has been really great, and his defensive flashes right here, and especially against Giannis, have been sensational. He had 14 points, 8 rebounds, 4 of 5 from the field. Just great to see. Jalen Green has been better on defense. You can see the hustle from him and Kevin Porter Jr. Alperen Şengün is trying his best. Eric Gordon is the veteran presence. The bench guys are out there giving great energy on both sides of the floor. Shout out to Usman Garuba, shout out to Kenyon Martin Jr., shout out to Tari Eason, Deshaun Nix, Garrison Matthews, Bruno Fernando. Just great all-around energy on both sides of the floor, especially on the defensive side, which they lacked, and it was a concern for them because, you have to play defense at some point, and hopefully this, flipped a switch for them a little bit, and they can continue to show great defense. Of course, they're not gonna be consistent like this and hold teams under 100 points, but they've shown us, what they can actually do when they lock in to defense and to their potential, and it's just great to see. They held Giannis to 17 points, and his worst game I've seen out of Giannis in like 2 years, I feel like. So it's great. Hopefully these young Rockets continue. I really like this young core, however you want to call it. It's fun to watch, and shout out to them, man. Next up we have the Utah Jazz destroying the Pelicans at home, as they now are 16-4. And an off night for New Orleans, as they shot just 4 of 27 from the 3-point line, just 40% from the field. Everyone except Zion didn't play as well as you would like to. Zion didn't play like his best game ever, but he was still solid in his 26 minutes with 26, 9, and 5, 2 steals. He had 4 turnovers. He was in foul trouble. He had all those 3 fouls in that first quarter, but it didn't matter in the end because they just got blown off the floor in the second half. Trey Murphy couldn't hit a shot. They got Herbert Jones back. He wasn't, himself instantly because, of course, he's coming back from a little bit of a layoff. And CJ McCollum has been shooting inconsistently, so he shot 6 of 17 today. The bench didn't give them as much as you would like to, as they've been giving them. Larry Nance, Najee Marshall, that small ball lineup I've talked about, didn't give them enough today, as well they got really well countered by the Jazz. And I would have liked to see Jonas Valanciunas more in this game, actually, because I feel like this game was more fit for him, but it happens. They were on a winning streak, went on the road to Utah, which is not the best place to start, on the road, so rough loss for them. And the Utah Jazz were finally healthy after a long time, so that was great to see. Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson both played. They were solid, even though they didn't shoot the ball well. They played some really good defense, and their veteran presence, especially Mike Conley's, was really felt. You got Jared Vanderbilt, who played his best game of this season with 18, 14, and 6 with 22 minutes. Just one turnover, one hell of a game from him, and he was really great against this small ball lineup of New Orleans and even their big lineup. Lauri Markkanen was great against that lineup too with 19 and 11. He gave them a lot of trouble. Walker Kessler off the bench gave them a lot of trouble with 11 and 16. Everyone gave them a lot of trouble, but those were the standouts. Nikhil Alexander-Walker has been great these last couple of games, and he had 19 points, hit 4 threes, 6 assists. Great game from him, and he's been showing a lot of improvement and earning himself some really good playing time. And it's just great to see from Utah. And, well, I need them to start losing so they could trade Kelly Olynyk to the Warriors. And last but not least, we had to LA as the Lakers took on the Celtics. And it was a great one. And the Celtics, coming off those two tough losses against my Warriors and the Clippers, their long road trip, they have been the final game of this road trip on a back-to-back night in LA. And, well, they showed out in that first quarter after they shot really poorly those last two games. They shot like 7 of 9 from the 3-point line in that first quarter. And it felt like, they were gonna get away from the Lakers. Throughout the first half, they were just dominant. Nobody could really do anything about them from the Lakers. And then they literally stopped scoring in that second half. They really couldn't score. They were stuck at 5 points in 10 minutes, it felt like, right? And they bounced back then because it was crazy night. They were up by 20, and the Lakers went on a 49 run, it was, I feel like. And then the Celtics answered in the last 4 minutes of the game, and they were down 13 points. It was 106-93, and they tied the game up. Jason Tatum hit that fadeaway over LeBron, sent it to overtime after AD missed those 2 free throws, and they won in OT pretty comfortably. Then Jaylen Brown iced it there, and a great win for them to end this tough road trip. Hopefully they should get Al Horford and maybe even Robert Williams back soon. They wouldn't have to play Blake Griffin and Luke Cornett this much. They've not been bad. They've been, I would say, exceptional for what they, are capable of doing for this team. And, with Al Horford and Robert Williams back in the mix, they should be better defensively. Both inconsistent defenses so far. Celtics, last year were one hell of a defense, and this year they've been inconsistent. But it makes sense since they are missing their centerpiece, and Al Horford has been out for this whole road trip, right? And it's rough, right? So shout out Jason Tatum. He bounces back after those tough games. 44 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 15 of 29 from the field. A great game from him. Jaylen Brown, 25, 15, and 5. 10 of 21 from the field. He was great. You got Marcus Smart, 18.6 assists. And Grant Williams hit 3 threes off the bench with 9 points. And Derek White had 10 points with 2 threes. Shout out to them, man. They didn't shoot lights out, but they get a huge win after, what could have been a disastrous end to the road trip, 3-game losing streak after being up 20 against these Lakers. And they got it done in the end. And a disastrous loss for the Lakers, right? As LeBron and AD both were great. You got Russell having 20 points off the bench. Russ was pretty great, but nobody else really showed up. I would say Austin Reeves was pretty solid, and Troy Brown didn't, shoot the ball at all, but he was solid defensively. But otherwise, Patrick Beverley hit 2 threes, but man, has he been awful for them. Dennis Schroeder didn't play well at all. Lonnie Walker had one of his off games, even though he was solid offensively. He didn't match up well with them defensively. Then you have LeBron, 33, 9, and 9, but the offense got really stale as they were up by 13 at the end of that fourth quarter, and they settled for way too many bad shots. Bad offense overall in overtime. That was back-to-back overtimes with bad offenses. Against the Sixers it was horrible, and against the Celtics it was horrible. AD had 37 and 12, but at the same time it didn't feel like as good as he has been, right, overall. He missed those 2 free throws down the stretch, which he missed that game-winning free throw in Philadelphia also. too. So that's something really bad, and just a devastating loss for the Lakers as they are now 11 and 16. And I really don't know what trade you can make, because Russ is a really good piece of the bench, but he's making 47 million, so you still have to trade him if you want to get better. And I don't know what you're gonna do. And that does it for today. That does it. Pretty fun game slate, even though there were actually a lot of blowouts, actually, right? There were a lot of blowouts, but it was fun. It was fun still. On a nice Wednesday. What do we have on a nice Wednesday today? Warriors, Pacers. Should be fun. We should be playing everyone, except Clay probably, and we need to win, so hopefully we beat these Pacers who have been pretty good. I'm excited to see the Hawks against the Magic, because they've been in a slump. That should be a fun one, actually, and the Magic have been winning. Kings Raptors should be a fun one also. Hopefully the Kings wrap up their road trip here. It would make sense, right? And Blazers Spurs, Cavs Mavs. That should be a good one. Nuggets Wizards, Clippers Wolves. Some really good games out there. I'm not complaining. And I'll be here to cover them all as always. Leave a like. Comment what was your favorite game, favorite thoughts, what did you take away from these games, and subscribe, and I'll see you all tomorrow.